we will see by tomorrow night what the Supreme Court decides to do here. But I wonder what your reaction is to at least this delay that they have instituted.
You know, we're going to watch what the Supreme Court does, but let's talk about what's at stake with this opinion we anticipate coming down. First, this is part of the extreme GOP's dangerous march to a national abortion ban. Already in this country, we see 20 million women have been denied care in states that have banned abortion. Just recently, a 6-week ban coming out of Florida. What does this mean? It means that women who are the victims of rape and incest are being forced into parenthood. Women are being their lives put in peril by being told they can't have miscarriage care until they run a fever and have sepsis set in. This is a real impact when we see government overreach into women's lives. And the other thing about this opinion is just what you mentioned, 23 years of safe and effective use. And this judge, ideologically based, has put science aside and threatened not only this drug, but every single drug that has been approved by the FDA.
There is an exception for rape and incest, victims of rape and incest in the Florida bill that was just signed by Governor DeSantis, but in many other states recently passing similar bills, there is not.
Exactly right.
As a leading member, as a member of House leadership, can you level with the American people about realistically what Democrats can actually do about this if the Supreme Court affirms a lower court ruling and mifepristone gets pulled? What can you really do?
What we can do is take back the House, keep the Senate and the White House, because this is so fundamental. We are going to energize and mobilize, and the American people are with us because this is what they understand. When the government is coming in, politicians are making decisions for your family that should be between you, your family members, your doctor, and your faith. That is not freedom. And that is what is going to be on the ballot in 2024. And we've seen the American people respond. When we had abortion bans, they lost in places like Kansas and Montana. We recently had a Supreme Court election in the state of Wisconsin. Abortion is understood by the American people as fundamental health care and as fundamental freedom and equality.
We're a year and a half away from that. And so are you basically saying to the American people, the only way, if we don't prevail in the Supreme Court, the only way for us to do something about this is to control both chambers in the White House in 2024?
Yeah. We're going to use every tool we have, and we're going to use every option that we have.
But what are those tools?
We can look at going back to the FDA. We can look at putting people on record here in Congress, forcing these votes on the floor to make sure that we are putting everyone on record on where they stand on making women second-class citizens in this country. We have tools that we can use even in the minority in the House. But let's be clear, this president understands that abortion is fundamental health care, and we are going to use every tool that they have to protect this fundamental right.
When you say we can go back to the FDA, what are you saying? What specifically can you do? Would you want the FDA to ignore the Supreme Court's decision if it doesn't fall your way?
This isn't about ignoring it, but one option is to have the FDA go through the process again for this drug. I don't know if that'll be an option that we choose, but it is a tool before us. And we have to look at everything we can do to make sure that we protect this right. This is about who we're going to be as a country. Are we really going to roll back a right that has been here for 50 years? You have seen the American people want us to fight for them. They want their voices heard in Capitol Hill. That's exactly what we're going to do.
That's an interesting approach. The FDA would have to decide if it wanted to take it, and it would take a pretty long time, the process, but it is one potential approach. I really appreciate your time and your perspective on this, Congresswoman. Thank you.